today we're going to do what every man has failed to do, which is take me on a date. You're going to come on a date with me where I take myself to Glasgow and do whatever I want to do. Let me get ready. That's me headed to the bus station. I'll catch up with you when I'm there. Feel the spring. I feel the spring is happening. Oh, the summer times are coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, doing wild mountain times, roll around the blooming heather. Right guys, so that's me in the bus. I'm just actually listening to someone I've never ever listened to, but I guess The Moment by Charlie XCX has brought it to my attention. He, him, A.G. Cook. It's very much not my normal kind of music that I listen to. But yeah, so just on the bus just now, honestly, the weather here is ridiculous. Like, it has not stopped raining or snowing, or sleeting for the last, I'm going to say, 2 weeks? I'm so fed up of it, honestly. But we're going to be positive. Now, what I will say is, I was on TikTok the other day, and I'm not going to self-diagnose, but I saw a TikTok which was talking about how if you struggle to focus on reading, you can do something that's called interactive reading, where you play the audiobook and read the book. How have we not thought about this before now? Maybe the people that have just gatekept it, but life-changing. I have a rough idea of all the things I want to do, but I don't have the set order of what I'm doing them in. So the general plans are that I want to go to the cinema, I want to have a little walk, so I think I know where I will go. I'm going to go for a Taco Bell, because Taco Bells make me happy. I might just have to buy myself a little gift, so we're probably going to go shopping as well, and get myself a card, because why wouldn't we? Because it's Valentine's Day, and again, no man apart from Laura man enough to buy me a Valentine's card. Very proud of myself for getting up this early and getting out of the house just after 7 o'clock. This is a day off for me. It's all in the name of self-worth and content. There's a lot of good movies released this month, like a lot. We've got Wuthering Heights, Charlie XCX, The Moment, Scream. I will say that I've committed to seeing Wuthering Heights with Gemma and Lisa a week after it comes out. I have to see it. Everything about this movie is making me want to go see it, but bar the lack of Heathcliff being black. I get that chat, I understand it, although I've not read the book to fully understand. From what I'm hearing, I totally get the criticism of it, so, but otherwise, it looks really good. No trip to Glasgow is complete without an obligatory trip to the John Lewis toilets directly as you get off the bus, because who's paying 20 or 30p to do a shit? I tell you what, like, the toilets have had a refresh. So I'm just head down to Forbidden Planet because I'm going to be a massive geek and see if there's anything that I want, because it's Valentine's Day And I'm single. So how annoying. I saw this really nice Scream t-shirt, which they did not have my size, which is unfortunate because I seem to wear Scream stuff all the time now. The ghost face is one of the most iconic horror icons, maybe ever. I do also really like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so Leatherface is also very iconic. Found my card from a special someone. Change of plan, we're going for a more loving approach.
Smaller steps. 1, 2, 3. Mom's better have my money! Friday Lee's in the house!
I think I'm going to go for a little walk now. I'm going to take myself to the necropolis and the cathedral. If you know, you know. If you're not already on Best Kebab TikTok, got mixed feelings about it. I can't help but feel that this man has been taking the mick out of. However, I've heard that he low-key deserves it, but I'm not getting involved in the debate. I'm just simply discussing my mind, my thoughts. Shout out to my girl, Livy Parcel. Very tempted to go and get a spicy chicken burger from Henry Healy's. Sorry, today's not the day. I feel like today is where we stick to our comforts. And my comforts is a Taco Bell. There's something that I really admire about Livy, and that she just off to Amsterdam and just casually lives her life. Like, she just chose to leave Glasgow, go back to Amsterdam, probably making some bag from promo, and she's now found an Italian boyfriend that she's met within 3 days. And if that's not me, I don't know what is. For the sake of being upfront, the thumbnail was made before the video, and that rarely ever happens, because I normally because this video directly deals with my relationship life, or lack thereof. I thought I was giving Bridget Jones. But the truth of the matter is, I'm even more tragic than Bridget Jones. The boxers from my transition earlier on, they had snails or something. I'm sure most people would probably prefer granny pants, to be honest with you, so I relate to Bridget so hard, honestly. Bridget's not as overweight as I am, which is very sad, because she's made out to be this frumpy woman. Bridget is just a couple pounds over. I'm overweight. Very tragic love life. But I think one of the ways that I feel most like Bridget is because I'm my own worst enemy. I feel like I put myself in situations where I just wish that I could make the right move or the right decision or choose the right person. And I just never seem to be able to do that. And one of the things that recently I've discovered is that my relationship life has always been about extremes. There's always been someone in a point who's more dominant or submissive in either meaning of the word. And we've never just had like a loving sort of moment where that's enough. And to be honest with you, when it was enough and when I did meet the right person, I couldn't have it. I had to in some way self-sabotage. And I really want to get out of that. I'm actually thinking at the moment of going to therapy. Relationship therapy sort of vibe. I know this seems like a lot at the age of 28, about to be 29. However, I will say that, see, when you're out with that heterosexual space, nobody will understand what it's like to be an other. And yeah, sure, when I was growing up there was a lot of gay positivity, but that feeling to go to your parents and tell them you're not what they thought you were, but have just in fact been yourself the whole time, but because you're not that preset idea of what a child should be, you're different or you're wrong. Now, I will say my parents never ever made me feel that way, but I have been someone who's always been quite embarrassed around relationships or telling family about relationships or friends or anything like that, and I really don't know why, and it's something that I've had to give myself a bit of a shake up for recently. I recently realised that I have been keeping myself away from my family for a long time, and it's just because I felt uncomfortable with showing a certain side of myself. But I think when you stop giving a you can finally start kind of to connect and move on from it, I guess. There's a lot of parts of my life that I've hidden because of the fact that I feel shame or embarrassment about, and this is something that I don't feel like straight people would ever understand. And I think every now and then, especially with the rise in fascism in the Western world, I get so angry, but nobody understands because they're never caring enough to take to step into my shoes. The thing I always say is like, well, you know, you've never worried about whether or not you're going to get married in 10 years time, or you've never worried about if you're going to get hate crimed on the street for being who you are. I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though I thought there wasn't for a long time, there's still quite a lot of gay shame in my life. That's quite hard to get over. Sometimes I hide parts of my life from my family or people that I feel like could judge. I come from Fife, there's not really all that much going on. That's how I feel, and it's something that I'm working on. So it's not a done deal, it's not that we'll feel this forever, but it's how I feel just now. The truth of it all is that I'm really not a religious person. I really love spending time in historic or religious buildings. There's so much history in these walls. Thousands of people walked in here, if not millions of people have walked in this space. And yet here I am in my Converse from last summer, which are honestly probably about 1 millimetre thick, and walking through these halls, which are grand and old and yeah, sorry. I've always been a deep thinker. But take my hat off. I will say I'm under absolutely no illusion. I know the part of the gay shame is caused by all of this. Like, I know, I'm very self-aware that part of the problem lies within here. However, it doesn't change the fact that in some way, I guess being in places like this makes me feel just very small. Sometimes my problems just seem so loud, and it's nice to just come here and know that a lot of other people have probably faced exactly the same sort of struggles. So we're going into St. Mungo's tomb. Do you ever think about the fact that, like, I'm in these spaces which are old and historic, and I'm listening to Charlie XCX and Troye Sivan? For a long time, I didn't really want to step foot near here, but I feel like in a way I've kind of reclaimed this place as my own. It's nice to be able to come here again, and for a hot second I had stopped myself from coming here. And to be fair, like, I mean, in the pits of my anxiety, I also stopped myself from doing many things. I got a job at Edinburgh Castle and I never started there because my mind wouldn't allow me to. I was so anxious, and I remember thinking the hill up to the castle is going to make me sweat and I'm going to be ugly, and I'm going, doesn't matter. It does not matter. But obviously this is me in sane-ish mind saying things like this, but at the time the sort of mindset was so normal to me. And I think when I when I was editing what will be last week's video, I actually realised that I'm not anxious anymore, but I can sometimes go into this really hyper negative headspace. So I think this is one of the really, really handy things of being able to video your experiences and sort of be introspective about the way that you act towards other people, because I don't want to be a baby downer like towards friends and stuff like that either. So yeah, I think I had a bit of a wake-up call last weekend. As much as that is a part of who I am, for the most part, I've tried to work on that, and I think sometimes I'm dragged down by certain situations in my life, or stressful situations in my life, and I can't let it happen. What I have kind of come across recently, and I'm kind of going back to the relationship side of things, is that I'm scared. It's almost like a traumatic event to regret something now. Like, I mean, I recently had a friend who was going through a certain situation, and basically I was, all the advice I'll ever give a friend is don't regret it. Just don't regret it. Because the thought of having something in my path and me living to regret it is almost at a fear point now for me. So again, harkening back to therapy, that's where I belong. I feel like I can tie that directly with the person that I also tie to this place. So yeah. And I think what was really hard about that situation was that I was the problem. And sometimes it's really, really hard to accept that you're the problem. But one of the things that I'm the proudest of is that I knew that I was the problem. Like, I always knew, and I knew that they were not the problem. Possibly still am. I'm just walking to the top of the Acropolis. This is a lovely little walk. I recommend it to anyone if you come to Glasgow. One thing that I do have to own up to. I know I just said about going to therapy, but and this whole thing was an exercise to start appreciating myself more. However, I may be going on a date while I'm here. So I'm not going on a date, but I am. So someone that I used to chat to, we just reconnected today, and I think we might be going for a coffee. I'll totally be going on a date, but that is not what today's about. What today is about is self-love.
Sure.
And doing things that make you happy, because why wouldn't you do things that make you happy? Because you live inside your head 24/7. I think that you can have as much love in your life for the things around you, for the pets around you, for family, for friends. Who is to say that love, or the idea of your Valentine, has to be your partner? Who says it has to be a life partner? In 30 years, if me and one of my best friends are still single, why wouldn't we stay in the same house together? I'm not gonna but I have a love for them, so why can't we live together? There's so many people that hold themselves to like the account of the social norms. It's 2026, you can do what you like. Like, you don't have to have a partner in 2026. At the same time, you also don't have to have 5. I'm gonna get cancelled. I feel like at some points I have felt pressured into being segued into the non-norms of relationship life as well. There have been times where I've chatted to 2 people at once, and they've been in a relationship together, and I've not felt comfortable with that, because then it would be 3 of us and I'm needy. Or I'm not comfortable with open relationships. I don't think that's my bag. No hate towards anyone that I've discussed who has a partner or has 3. do love seeing like the whole of Glasgow in one spot. Anyways, Kyle, I just wanted to say I have a gift for you. No way. What have you got? Oh my god, you're kidding me. Can't believe you even bought me a little bear lollipop. That's really gorgeous. I just told you, you can be your own Valentine. It proves my point. I have two hands, I can give one to the other. And you can do it in a cute setting like the necropolis where there's loads of dead people and there's loads of gothic architecture. Let's get up, I blame it on you. I blame it on your love. It's the first time James Somerville has ever heard Charlie XCX. Anyways.
Da chamada, chamada, na cena. Da chamada, 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 na cena. Chamada, chamada, na cena. All the ladies hold up, hoping to ride is a brand new motor.
So, I feel like, do I do something really daring? Like within the next year, give myself a real push to move to either Edinburgh or Glasgow. The problem is I don't know what one. I love Edinburgh, I love the history. It's too English, it's too English. No offence, but it's too English. It just doesn't feel like the Scottish experience, but this does. This feels Scottish to me. Edinburgh does feel Scottish. I don't know. That probably tells me I shouldn't move to Edinburgh or Glasgow. Batman was filmed there. Batman was filmed there. I've long said that I will literally buy this cottage and do whatever I need to do to it. Why is nobody living in that? Or why is it not a thing? Mine. So I'm just heading to a donut place. I've passed before and I've seen on TikTok. But I don't know what it's called, so I can't really help you with that until I'm there. True fact, me and Lauren have met Spider-Man here twice. We met him when he was drunk and out with one of his pals back in the day. And we also saw him when he was like going along on a tank. Do you know what? I'm gonna call that versatile. I think he's a very versatile character. I think he could do everything and everything, and he could do it the best than everyone else. I also sent Lauren a voice note yesterday, and it confirmed that I think I've perfected my Abby Lee Miller. That sounded really bratty. I've got men walking at me. Oh, God. Wait a second. I'll perform for you. The men have passed me. Oh, that sounded really bratty.
Kendall,
See,
you didn't stick out to me.
That was low. Ooh.
On the bottom? Hey.
Oh, that sounded really bratty.
And on top of the pyramid, once again, is Maddie.
Hi there, sir. Would you like to tell me what you think about a certain boob? I'm trying to work out if I have the energy to go to Mr. Ben's, which is a kind of well-known vintage clothes shop in Glasgow. I'm much more chunky than I used to be when I would shop at Mr. Ben's. Do I have space for this trauma in my life today? I think the answer is no, because it's closed. That was easy. But that donut was very good. I would definitely recommend it. I'm going to say it's a solid 8. Solid 8 out of 10, which is kind of reminding me of Donut Time in London, which I believe is now called something else. I sang a hymn to bring me peace. The biggest lie that's ever been told is that the Louvre is in Paris, France. France, schmanch. It's in Glasgow. This is the Louvre. Welcome to the Louvre in Glasgow. Just headed to Taco Bell just to get some food. Or in its cat house, your favourite place. But yeah, I got a beef nacho burrito thing, which I get all the time, because I managed to resist. I did not go for my usual order, which is normally everything and some. I just had one of the nicest interactions I've had in a long time with a stranger. Now, I am known to chat to strangers. Just chatting away with a guy in the subway, and he's telling me about his new clothes that he's been treating himself to, and how he doesn't like social media and phones and stuff. He just sticks to things that he knows. But honestly, he just screamed like, I think he was kind of lonely. But it was nice just to have that conversation with someone who didn't care about their ego. There's not an ego inside. He doesn't care what people think of him. He just reached out and had that conversation. I actually think that we've lost that part of us, in a way. Just to have a conversation with people that you don't necessarily know. You know, he even waved goodbye to me when he left the train, and I was like, that is just very nice. I am here because I've got that date in Partick. It's going to be the easiest place for us to meet. He's working. So yeah, don't get me wrong, this is still a day about self-love and self-worth. Nice guy. We've chatted for ages, and yet we've not met, but obviously he is over this side of things, so I don't know if it's likely that we'll continue chatting or meeting up or whatever, but he's a nice person. And he bought me a roll, which he was not meant to do because of the fact that I'm trying to lose weight, but anyways, I obliged because I'm not rude. I feel like I would need to see him again to know if there was anything there. And admittedly, our situation in terms of like distance and stuff is a bit tricky, but it was nice to see him if anything else, so lovely. I've only got like 5 minutes to go catch my bus. It's not looking good. I have a minute. I'm going to see this bus pulling away. There we go. Was there for a solid 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You could have just let me on. But oh well. Such is life. Thanks for joining me today. As you can tell, it's been a very varied day. We've done a bit of shopping. A date? That was very random. Anyways. Bring on the montage to bring me home. God, hear my prayer.
Da chamada, chamada, na cena. Chamada, 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 na cena. Marcada, chamada, chamada, na cena.
I'm going to go see Wuthering Heights. I've not told you I'm a leader, and I'm going to get in trouble. And when I go see it with them, I'm going to pretend I've not seen it. I can't not see this film. I need to see the film. I've been waiting too long for this film. It looks very pleasing. Plus, if you haven't got it yet, It's Valentine's Day and I'm single, so I need to find some sort of pleasure in my life. So I'll just watch Jacob Elordi bumming Margot Robbie for 2 hours and 16 minutes. Lovely. Sounds gorgeous to me. I did warn them. I think I'm gonna die in this house. I think I'm gonna die in this house. I think I'm gonna die in this house.